Hi everyone, today is 3.7 Absolute Value Inequalities Day 2. So we're going to look at word problem, and we're also going to do a little bit of review problems and see how we do on those. So here's a word problem using an absolute value inequality. And most of the absolute value inequality word problems are going to be worded this way. It says, a particular toddler has an average nap of about 2 hours and sleeps for 13 hours at night. Nap time and nighttime sleep can each vary by about 15 minutes. What are the possible time lengths for a child's total nap and nighttime sleep? So we have two scenarios here. We have nap time and we have nighttime. So we're going to do two different inequalities for these. Okay, so our let statements is going to be the possible amount of time that the child actually sleeps. So we'll say nap time, and this let statement will be nighttime sleep. Okay, so our absolute value inequality is basically always going to follow this format. You're going to have your absolute value, which is going to be an and it's always going to be an and because that way it falls between two numbers, which is what you're looking for. You're looking for a range. Since it's an and, it's always a less than. And in this case, it can be equal to 2 hours, so we're going to have it less than or equal to. Since my let statement is nap time, then what am I trying to find? I'm trying to find the actual amount of time that they slept. But on average, they sleep 2 hours. So I want the amount of time that they slept, x, minus the 2 hours, to be less than or equal to the variation, right? And it can vary by about 15 minutes. So I don't want it to go over 15 minutes. I want it to be either 2 hours, between 2 hours and 15 minutes, or an hour and 45 minutes. It can only vary by 15 minutes from that 2 hour mark. So x minus 2 is less than or equal to 15 minutes. But I need it all to be in the same unit. And since we had hours before, I'm going to put this into hours. 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour, or 0.25. So now watch what happens when I solve this problem. Since it's an absolute value and it's an and, I'm going to have x minus 2 is less than or equal to 0.25, and x minus 2 is greater than or equal to negative 0.25. So now we add 2 to both sides, and we have x is less than or equal to 2.25, and x is greater than or equal to 1.75. So we have 2 hours and a quarter, which is 2 hours and 15 minutes, and 1 hour and 3/4, which is an hour and 45 minutes, and it's falling in between those two numbers. So now I know that my nap time can vary between those two numbers. So we do the same thing with nighttime. Again, my variation is 0.25, so it's going to be less than or equal to 0.25. And inside my absolute value is always going to be my total nighttime sleep, x, minus the average nighttime sleep, which in this case is 13 hours. I do my two equations. X minus 13 is less than or equal to 0.25, and x minus 13 is greater than or equal to negative 0.25. Add 13. And we end up with x is less than or equal to 13.25, and x is greater than or equal to 12.75. So nighttime sleep falls between 12 hours and 45 minutes and 13 hours and 15 minutes. And nap time falls between 1 hour and 45 minutes and 2 hours and 15 minutes. And here is your answer, which is exactly what we got. Okay, so I want you to take a second and do the highlighted problems, and then I will give you the answers, and on the slide after that I'll have the answers worked out. Okay, here are the answers, so check your answers. If you need to pause, you can pause. And now I'm going to scroll through the worked out. Check your answers, look at the worked out, and make sure you understand how to do those problems.